Hello, believers, non-believers, and everyone in between. You're listening to Stories with Sapphire. I am Sapphire Sandalo. Now get cozy and open your mind because it's story time. Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Stories with Sapphire Live. I am Sapphire Sandalo, and this is the live stream I do every Wednesday at 5:30 Pacific, where I read your stories and emails. It's a little bit more casual, a little more loosey-goosey than actual episodes. And we just hang out and get spooky. Full disclosure, disclaimer. I am very hot and sweaty in this booth. It's not a booth, it's a closet. So I've got a fan going on. I've got an AC going on out there. So the sound might be a little bit weird, but you know what? That's okay. You're going to deal with it. And then at the end of the stream, I pull a card from one of my decks. And then we do a collective reading. So, hopefully I did not bring a water with me, did I? Well, I don't pass out in here. It's fine. It's not like that hot. It's just hot enough for me to complain about it. Init kaayo. That's for the Cebuano people. I'm still practicing. By the way, I also use these live streams to practice my Cebuano. So, so kung makasulti ka og Cebuano, pag-type in sa chat. That was not good, but you know what I mean. All right, ready for your first story? This one's called Little Passenger. Greetings, Sapphire. It's Sparrow. Thank you for your feedback on and reading of It Lured in Darkness. Last time it was very helpful. I hope you enjoy this one about hitchhiking ghosts who are just trying to get home. One night, Brett and Ruby were driving home from visiting her parents' house that weekend, since it had been her mother's birthday. As they were cruising down the long, dark highway, they chatted back and forth, exchanging stories. Did you know that there's an urban legend about this highway? Ruby told her husband. They say a long time ago, a little girl went missing from her home, kidnapped by a local, and never returned. It's just an urban legend, though, right? Brett told her. Maybe the old folk made it up to get kids to be home before dark. Well, I think it's true, Ruby retorted with a pout. It was then that the radio, which had been playing soft music in the background, faded and blared crackling static. What's wrong with the radio? Ruby sighed, trying to find a station that would come through. It's probably just electrical interference, Brett rationalized. It did not take too long for the radio to return to normal, but on the right side of the highway was a small girl waving at them to pull over. What's a kid doing out this late? Ruby questioned. Should we give her a ride? Replied Brett. Yeah, we should, especially since it's so late, she agreed with her husband as he slowed down the car. Yet, something about this did not sit right with him, even though Brett had agreed to stop. Ruby pressed the button, and the window rolled down as the little girl walked over. Hey, sweetie, do you need a ride home? she asked. Yes, that would be nice if you could. I stayed outside too long, and my mom is probably really worried about me, the girl with gray eyes and red hair replied. The girl got into the back seat, sitting in the middle. So what's your name, kiddo? Brett asked, looking at the small girl in his rearview mirror. Katrina, the red-haired girl replied. She then began pointing at different back roads that Ruby did not know existed, and she grew up in this area. The last one they turned down was a long dirt road overgrown with nature. There, at the end, was an old, dilapidated cabin. Concerned, Ruby turned to ask Katrina if she was sure this was right. Maybe because it was dark, the roads did not look the same. Only to find that she was not there. Huh? What is it, Ruby? Her husband asked due to the confusion on her face and looked up in his rearview mirror to see why she had been so bewildered. There in the back seat, where Katrina had currently been, was an empty seat. Cool. So if you want feedback on this one, I love a hitchhiker story. So the thing is, it's when you do a story about like well-known tropes, the hitchhiker ghost is a very well-known trope. There are certain things that people are already going to expect is going to happen. So what you want to do, if you want, this is just like what I would personally do, is think about, okay, what's the obvious thing that people will assume, and then think of something else. Like think of like what it's like, where would our mind naturally go, and then think of like something different, something totally different that would be unexpected. Especially since like it opens with them talking about the urban legend and then it happens. Like I personally would, and I'm thinking like what would be an unexpected thing, like maybe the girl was a real girl and it wasn't a ghost, but then like something else ghostly happened. You know what I mean? Or like maybe the urban legend they're talking about is something totally different and then something else happens. Or they don't even talk about the urban legend. The little girl's just there. And like what I would do is like make your audience believe that this little girl is not a ghost. So like what are some believable things that she could be doing or saying, where that way when the reveal happens, it comes out of nowhere. Whereas like we're definitely being set up for that. Okay, that's enough. I hope that wasn't too harsh. Let's see, live stream read. Cool. Queen Sundere. Hello, Ate Sapphire. Maayong buntag. Well, it's not buntag for me. Maayong let's say it's gabi or hapon. It's 5:42 p.m. Maayong gabi, Queen Sundere. Okay, let's do another. Okay, this one's called My Creepy Classmate. Hello, Auntie Sapphire. My name is Jemiah, and I've been a fan for a few years now. I just wanted to tell you this story that recently happened to me. Hope you enjoy. So this year was my first year of high school. I was kind of nervous about it because I've never been to a place so big before, and it's going to be a new chapter of my life. So throughout the first semester, everything was kind of chaotic since, again, it was my first time being in high school, so I had to get used to the new school system. But when the second semester came, everything I can to change, the only real big change was me being one of the people that got their schedules changed, which meant I had to change classes, and teachers and I had new classmates also. But I was kind of happy because I did get some classes with my friends, but this one student kind of threw me off. We unfortunately had all 7 classes together, which at first was okay, but throughout the second semester we started... Sorry, I'm not going to read that one. I think it's a little grammatically hard to read. So I'm going to pick something else. Sorry about that. Okay, we're going to do this one. This is called Death by Diner. Dear Sapphire, you have talked about submitting stories on your YouTube channel. I thought about giving it a try. Please read it. I hope you like it. Maybe you decide to respond. Sorry I sent it twice. From Emery. Death by Diner. Originally, I was a waitress. Waiting tables was one of the best things I did. Until that day. That day, I could never do my job again after what happened. I was too frightened that the same thing would happen. That at the end of the day, I would be sitting on the curb, blood-stained shirt, with the police sirens ringing in my ears. A few hours earlier was basically a normal day. I got up, got dressed, had my coffee, and left for work. I kept doing what I normally did. In the middle of the day, I saw something strange. A middle-aged woman with black hair and a light blue dress was standing outside the restaurant window. Something was off about this lady. She looked inhuman and fake, like a doll. It seemed she was looking straight at me. I focused on her eyes. They weren't normal. They were pitch black. What was wrong with her eyes? She then opened her mouth. It looked like she was about to make a sound, but no sound came out. Tears started to fall out of the woman's pitch black eyes. I felt a quick tap on my shoulder and I jumped. Whoa there, Katie. Are you okay? It was one of my work friends. Yeah, I just saw this woman looking outside the window. She looked like she needed help. Well, it looks like she left. I turned around. She was gone. What happened to her? Later that night, I didn't have any more tables to wait. Then, someone walked through the door. It was the woman, except her eyes were normal. It looked like she was trying to get a table. Something came over me and I realized I needed to be her waitress. I quickly walked over there, giving the reservationist a look to make sure he knew I was taking over. He nodded. Follow me, miss, I told her, making sure she would come. I led her to an empty table, handing her the menu. I'll be right back. Take as much time as you need. She nodded. I came back after a few minutes. Although, when I came back, the woman wasn't alone. Across from her was a little boy. He had pale skin, dusty brown hair. He wore overalls with an orange shirt underneath. He looked straight into my soul with a pair of beady black eyes. Ma'am, did you check this boy in? She nodded. I found it kind of rude that she wasn't talking the whole time. Do you know what you would like to drink? I asked. I heard a raspy whisper. Excuse me? She gestured me to come closer. No drinks, just dinner, she whispered. Okay, what would you like? She pointed to the steak, then the rare option. And you, young man? The boy didn't respond. He just shook his head, no. I didn't have the courage to respond, so I just ran to put in the order. I came back after a while. How are we doing? Are you sure I can't interest you in some bread? The woman once again gestured me to come closer. Hungry, she said in a quick and quiet voice. I didn't know what to say. This lady was so strange. I left again to check on the food. A sharp scream rang through the restaurant. I ran to the seating area. There was blood where the woman was sitting. People backed away cautiously. I crept closer, trying to see what happened. There, underneath the table, was the woman. She was soaked in blood. She was feasting upon the child. She shredded his skin, chomping on his insides. His face looked exactly like the woman's when she was standing outside the window. His mouth was open with tears falling down. I could see his intestines, the blood seeping out. She teared away a blood vessel, squirting blood everywhere. It was all over me. Some even landed in my mouth. I started gagging and I vomited. The woman looked up at me. Hungry, she screamed as she went back to eating the boy. I stumbled back, falling backwards. Everyone started to run out, and someone called the police. Still in shock, I slowly walked out onto the curbside. I sat down. Emergency trucks pulled in. Several paramedics ran to me, asking me questions, flashing lights in my eyes, checking for injuries. Policemen ran inside the restaurant, but no shots were shot. Only after a few minutes, they went back out. One officer consulted with a paramedic. The paramedic got more people that were holding stretchers. 2 strainers were walked out holding 2 body bags. The story that was reported said that shortly after the woman ate the boy's insides, she passed out. She then had a stroke that killed her. When police went inside, they saw her with pitch black eyes and her mouth was wide open. It's been 3 months, but I still can't find it within me to go outside. I've been inside my apartment for basically the whole time. My family has called me, trying to see how I was doing, but I've ignored all of them. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm scared to go to sleep now, because every time I go to bed, I see her face with black eyes, but she doesn't have her mouth open. She's smiling endlessly as she haunts me forever. Ooh. That's cool. I like that one. Thank you, Emery. I guess my only note, it's not even really a big note, but, because, sometimes the story is just like a weird thing that happens, but I would, like, if it were me, I would like to see some sort of, like, not change, but like the what's, like, why are you telling the story? Like, what are you saying about something? You know what I mean? But also, you don't have to. Okay. Oh, Adam, thank you for the super chat. Grammar, the true Ghostbuster. Yes. Sorry. It's just like I don't have time to like edit the stories ahead of time, so I just pull them. And if it's not in a condition where I can just like read it off the bat, I can't. So I feel bad, but okay. All right, this one's called The Mysterious Answered Phone. Hello, Sapphire. I heard about you from my girlfriend, and after listening to your voice on Snarled, I got sucked into all of your stories. I haven't had many paranormal experiences myself, but there was one that I question to this day. I distinctly remember one night where I was having a tutoring session with an ex-friend in my den. He was teaching me some methods in my math class that I hadn't quite grasped. Let's call him Josh. Josh and I had come to a stopping point in the session, and I had decided to call it a night. It was late, and my mother was working overnight at her job. We had a movie playing in the background, and it was around Halloween, so I believe the movie playing had been Hocus Pocus. I don't quite remember the movie, as this was years ago, but it was in the middle of playing as he left, and I had gone to the bathroom to wash my face and brush my teeth. As I hummed to myself and listened to the movie, I could hear my ringtone going off. It was turned down pretty low, so I actually had to pause and listen to make sure I was hearing right. As I went into my den and I picked up my phone, which was face down on the futon, I used my thumb to slide the middle key to the answer option and put the phone to my ear. The voice I heard was Josh's. He didn't say hello. He simply said, "Why didn't you answer me the first time?" I paused before shrugging it off. "Oh, my phone is turned down and I left it in the den. I guess I didn't hear it." There was a small pause before he responded with, "No, I mean, when I called the first time, you picked up and all I could hear was the movie we were watching. I called your name a couple times and you never answered me." When he said this, my throat grew dry. I swallowed hard before uttering, "I never answered the phone. I swear it was in the den." There was a stomach-churning pause before he quietly said, "I'm coming back to your house, and I'm searching that house. Someone answered that phone." My face fell, and a sense of dread washed over my entire body. I didn't move. I couldn't. I felt frozen before looking behind me to my closet, which was still closed tight, and slowly backed away from it, and grabbing the remote and muting the TV, I had become solely focused on listening for any noises in the house that hadn't been there before. Tapping, banging, shifting, anything. I was so focused on the noises, I was almost startled when there was a knock at the door. I quickly went to it and answered to a very frantic Josh. I could tell by the look on his face that he was not kidding when he said that someone other than me had answered my phone. He searched the entire house with the biggest knife we had, top to bottom. There was nothing. I was convinced that someone had answered my phone that wasn't me. It never happened again, however. I do hope you like it, and I hope it was spooky enough for you. If you want to use it for a story, I'd be honored to hear you tell it. For me, that was the day my world literally stood still. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. That's so spooky. No notes. That was great. Oh my god. So it's like, ooh, like if there could be a paranormal reason, and there could be a like a just very rational reason, and I'm curious to know if they ever like found someone in the house. That's spooky. Okay, are you ready for your collective card? I think maybe I'll use that one for a podcast episode. I like that one. Actually, you know what? That actually reminds me of a time when I was in high school. My friend, Drew, I think was the one who had this. She said that she got like a weird voicemail that sounded like her. And she was like, hi, what's going on? And they were like saying something about, you have to save the baby. You have to save the baby. Like it sounded like someone she knew. Either sounded like her voice or someone she knew. And then it like hung up. And like I think about it all the time. Because I remember we were joking like, did you get a call from yourself in the future? Like, what the fuck was that? I mean, I'm sure that's not what was happening. But it was kind of cool. And weird. Alright, I'm shuffling the cards. You can see here, no funny business. I'm just a bad shuffler. That's like the man with the kind eyes story you told. I don't remember that one. Oh, I forgot to knock. Alright, what message does Spirit want to give us today? Okay, I think drawn to this one. Butterfly. I like butterfly. Butterfly's transformation, growth, transition. Oh my god, it's so hot in this freaking booth. Undergoing great change and transformation. The energy of the butterfly is with us during periods of transition. Since air is the element of the heart, this change usually involves relationships, or if you love your job, perhaps your career. Since transition is accompanied by some amount of discomfort, be extra patient and kind during this time, especially if the butterfly is you. Let solid friends and activities support you like a cocoon. Committing to one daily routine, a meal, practice, or prayer, done at the same place and time will do wonders for lifting a butterfly's spirit. When in balance, it's cheerful and graceful. When out of balance, fragile and frustrated. To bring into balance, daily routine. Yeah, I resonate with that. Butterfly. All right, everyone. Go be beautiful butterflies today and the rest of the week. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Well, I don't know how many of you are in LA or near Long Beach, but there's a really big horror convention happening this weekend, and I'm going to be on a panel on Saturday at 3. So if anyone is going to Midsummer Scream, let me know. I'd love to meet you. But I'll be there all day Saturday, and that's it. I'm only going Saturday. I used to do a booth like every year, but that's too much now. All right, y'all. Can you tell? Oh my God. Can you tell like how sweaty I am? Absolutely disgusting. All right, everyone.